to the Brookhill Podcast, where we talk about life, legacy, and leadership.
Yeah.
Today, I am joined by the home team.
Whoa.
Jason, the Ross team.
The Rosses and the Pate.
This is a lot of Rosses. That's what this is. We got Ethan Ross, we got Olivia Ross, and we got the Jason Ross.
It's like Christmas all over again. Bring the
That's
whole
exactly
family
right.
together.
Well, it is 2025. 2025.
Yes. Crazy.
It's the new year, and we thought we would kick it off and talk about New Year, New You.
Oh.
So we know that everybody has all these goals that they have started.
Right.
What goals have you guys started? Like, did y'all join a
man.
gym in the last week or something?
Oh, man. My wife bought me a home gym for her Christmas.
Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah. Well, she's really smart about it, though. She bought me the home gym, but in order to set it up, we have to clean out our garage. And in order to clean our garage, we have to finish out like a bunch of flooring in our attic space. And so it added on about four projects to me. So I've like cleaned out our whole garage, and I'm like, I'm so excited to set up our home gym. My wife's like, this is the plan.
Yeah, she's playing chess. You're playing
I'm telling
checkers
you,
over
she's
there.
so
Yeah.
smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
Kind of a
Well-
crayon eater, aren't you?
I don't know what
Yeah.
that means. So maybe so. I guess so.
All right, what'd the Rosses start? What'd y'all start?
Oh boy. We
lot of things,
started
actually.
so many things.
Yeah.
We have a
Yes.
whole chart going on.
Oh, y'all are charters.
We are charters.
Yeah, no, the big thing is like really scheduling our mornings and our nights,
Yes.
like really being intentional about the time we spend outside of work.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Having to control our TV time.
Yeah.
And we will watch some series till midnight every
Yeah.
night.
And then you don't get up.
Goals.
That's not the goals. That was what used to be. That is in the past.
I got
Right.
you. I got you.
Right.
The new
That was 7
goals-
days ago.
Yes.
Pat.
That was
Right.
It actually does feel so good to be like on day 7 and like still doing what you decided to do day 1.
Yeah.
It's a
true.
really
So-
cool thing.
So y'all know the second Friday in January has a name.
Yes.
What's it
does.
called?
It's like Quitter's Day, isn't it?
Quitter's Day.
Nuh-uh.
It's literally
That's a real thing.
That's a real thing. So because this is going to air on the day before that, this
How encouraging.
yeah.
that.
So tomorrow is Quitter's Day. So we're trying to
right.
keep you from Quitter's Day. That's what this is.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, but our goals for real though. We definitely like time management, like what we do with the time that we have. And definitely prioritizing mornings more. I've never been a morning person. I don't love to get up. I love to sit in bed until the last minute, therefore making me late everywhere I go. I do that. But prioritizing time will help that so much and getting up. So I've gotten up at like 6:50 the past 7 days or whatever, not Saturday, but the other days that weren't Saturday. And I've gotten up, and then I have some like really cool biblical goals as well, and just like my relationship with the Lord. And I was encouraged by some people to do the Bible recap. Have you heard of it?
I've not heard of it.
It's Bible recap with
Where do you
Lisa
find it?
Koppel. It's in the Bible app. So like you go to the Bible app and you choose a plan.
Yeah.
And I was doing the Bible recap, and it's not too much. Like I've done it for the past 7 days, and I'm actually 7 days ahead. So
Okay.
I factored in camp because time is
Sure.
just so
You gotta
hard
get
in
3
camp.
months ahead.
And so I looked, it's 91 days. And so I have to get 91 days ahead. And I really feel like I can do it. I just have to do 1.5 a day, and I've done 3 a day. And it's been so
That's
easy
awesome.
to do. But what I love about it is it's not just like, the little man who reads the Bible and he's like, Genesis 24, and his voice
Wow,
is so
he sounds
somber.
just like that.
How do you know he's a little man?
Okay, this guy,
Okay.
this man
Okay.
somewhere who did the voiceover, but at the end of it, so he reads it to you, and I actually love to hear it and to watch it. So I have my actual Bible out, and then I have him reading to me, and I follow along, and
That's
it's about 3 chapters a day. And at the end, Lisa Koppel, I think I'm saying her name right, you can play a YouTube video, and she tells you what you just heard, and so she'll break it down, and it's a really cool perspective. Like, just
Yeah.
finally got through Job, spent forever just to get into Job's life, and there was so much I didn't know about that guy. But it's really cool because she'll give you like the overview of it, and it's just really opened my eyes, and I can't wait to learn so much. But that's definitely a really big goal. So getting up in the morning and being able to do that, and now that I've said I'm going to read the Bible in a year, I've got to do it. So
And now everyone listening needs to be messaging her to see if she's still going to be doing that after Quitters.
The accountability is going
That's
to be
exactly
I know.
right.
Well, other people asked me to do it, which I'll probably talk about this later due to some of the questions. But other people asked me to do it, and so now I have to do it. It's one of those things. But anyway.
Okay, so let's jump into this. New year, new you. So here, you guys have set goals. Everyone listening, the millions listening on the podcast are setting goals.
Right.
Yeah, 10.5 people or million, whatever, however you want to say it. So new year, new you. So so the first question is, I wrote down some questions here.
All right.
The first question is, what does your day look like? Because to me, if you're going to accomplish stuff, you've got to start being the owner of your day.
Yes.
If you don't start owning your day, see, the problem is we set goals, but then we don't realize that we're the people that have to accomplish them. And so if, think about life. When you're growing up, everyone else sets your schedule. Everyone does. Your parents, your school, your coach, right? You got to practice this day. You got games this day. You got homework this day. You've never decided your schedule, right? And then then you take a job, and sometimes your boss sets your schedule or whatever.
True.
And the reason we never accomplish anything is because we never set our own schedule.
Yeah.
Right.
And so if you're going to accomplish your goal, Olivia didn't let the Bible app set your schedule, right? You're going to have to set your schedule.
Yep.
So what does your day look like?
Yep.
I think is the first key
Yep.
to it, because if you don't make a schedule, it's not going to happen.
Yep.
Right.
So do y'all have schedules? Like, do you?
Oh yeah. I think routine is key.
Yeah,
So I mean,
for
that's
sure.
everything. 'Cause
What's your routine, Jay?
So my routine. So with Home Gym Incorporated,
Yeah.
Sure.
is I wake up at 5:30.
Okay.
And then I'll work out till 5:20 or so. We get our kids out of bed at 6:30 to get ready.
Did you just say you wake up at 5:30 and you work out till 5:20?
Did I say? I meant to say 6:20. I'm sorry. Yeah, I go back in
Yes.
time. You guys don't do that.
You guys at home have no chance to do this. This guy's on another level.
Yeah, you got to get your goals straight. I mean,
Yeah.
That was
Exactly.
crazy.
He
I
also
didn't
walks
hear.
on the water during his lunch break on Big Lake.
I don't want to brag. Sorry.
That was crazy.
And then he raises.
Guess it.
Yeah, anyway.
So, we wake up our kids at 6:30. We get them ready for school. We're out the door by 7:30, and then I'm here working on Brookhill. And there's a whole nother thing inside of that. I won't prioritize my whole Brookhill day, but
Yep.
at 4:00 when Brookhill work ends, then our goal, me and Sydney's goal every year, we always try to do a really good job at when we're home. We're home with our kids, and so from 4:00 to 8:00 is just straight dinner and spending time with our kids. And then right after that, then me and Sydney try to spend some intentional time with each other. One of the goals that we did set, though, I know I'm going off of social media for about a year. I'm going to try to hit a
That's
year.
really cool.
But not because I don't like social media, just because I have seen where the effects of it taking away from my family in some areas, and so that's not to brag. That's just one of my goals that I'm
Yeah.
hoping I can hit, and I still have it just because I'll use it for work. But anyways, so we are spending intentional time together from 8:00 to 9:30, 10:00 before we start really kind of getting ready for bed. So that's kind of that's every day for us, and so
That's
that's what we
cool.
do.
Now, you get to work at what time?
I get to work at 8,
But when do you have to be at work?
9.
See, that's it right there.
Yeah.
See, when you decide, okay, yeah, bossman wants me here, but I'm going to do this because this is how I'm going to. The team,
Yeah.
the coach wants me there at 7, but I'm going to be there at 6 because I'm going to go ahead and get 100 shots up or whatever. And that's why people are frustrated. I'm not starting, or I'm not getting it. I'm not getting this opportunity. But you're only doing what is asked of you. If you're only doing what is asked of you, then you're going to be like everybody else.
Oh man. Derek Jeter has a quote. I just read it a couple days ago because it's in one of the things that I wrote. But he said, people everybody can be more gifted than you, but there's no excuse for anybody ever outworking you.
That's it.
That's true.
That is
That's
it right
cool.
there. I love that. So the next thing that I wrote down here is, sorry, I got a quote that somebody texted me, is how does that help you accomplish your goals? Okay, what does your day look like? Okay, so I think everybody needs to write down their day, not just here's what I want my day to be. Let me write down what my day actually is.
Yeah, that's true.
And the question is that going to help you accomplish your goals?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to have X amount of dollars by 2 months from now. Okay, looking at your schedule, is that even going to be possible?
Is that even a thing? Yeah.
With the way you spend, with the way you work. Okay, no, I need to work. This schedule isn't going to get me to my goal.
Yep.
Okay, and then you got to ask yourself, why are you doing it?
Yeah.
Good.
Why are you doing what you're doing? Are you doing it because you want to?
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of times we pick goals that we want to have,
Yeah.
but and so that means we're only going to work on them when we want to,
Yeah.
Right.
That's so true.
right?
Yeah.
What are y'all's thoughts about that?
No, that's really good. I was just thinking, like, with me wanting to get in my word and having this goal, I know with my practical schedule, camp is a big thing, and I don't have as much time as I do in real life. And so when camp hits, I will have less time. Now, I'm still going to try to get in my word for sure, and I'm not saying that, but with the Bible recap, I think getting ahead is kind of a goal that I have. But to get ahead of that, I will be able to accomplish my goal in a year if I get ahead 91 days or whatever in the Bible app. So it's so true looking practically, because if I were to say, I want to read the Bible and just kind of went through it and whatever, when camp hits, I'm going to be shocked. But also having a vision too, I think, with that, you know, if you just, here's what I'm going to do every day. Consistency is great. But when you look at your year, what does that look like? I think having a vision for practically taking that out makes sense, you know, like Jason saying, well, I'm going to be a bodybuilder, and so all my morning is me working out, and then he never gets to spend time with his family. You know, his life practically doesn't look like that. You know what I'm saying?
Good.
Like, I think looking practically is really smart.
And why is Jay getting off social media? Is it because others expect him to do that?
No.
You know, because if you choose goals based on others' expectations, right? I chose that goal because that's what my friend is doing. See, why are you doing what you're doing during the day? It's because it's what everybody else is doing. You're never going to accomplish a goal like that. You know, I know health has been really important for you, Ethan. And, you know, but why are you doing that? Are you doing that because Olivia wants you to? Or because, no, this is what God's put in my heart. This is the next level. I can't go to the next level until I accomplish this thing, right?
For sure.
And so I know for you, I think health maybe has been the thing maybe that's triggering discipline for you, right?
Yeah. You know, I think I kind of through the months have very randomly different goals, whether it's, you know, well, this, like, I'm all in on, I'm going to become a real estate investor, and you know, I'm going to do this. And then the next month it's like, man, I need to lose weight again. And I'm focused on that. And then I kind of hop around, and I at the end of 2024, I spent about a week on my iPad. Like, I have this, if you know what Procreate is, the app, you can draw on it, but I kind of do notes on that. And so I kind of wrote out just everything that all my goals, what, like, you know, as wild as they were. And next to it, I have my daily schedule. And so then I started to realize that, you know, regardless of what goal I'm focused on, if I don't have a steady foundation, you know, if my day is not scheduled out correctly, then I'm never going to get anywhere.
That's true.
And on that notion, I realized that most of the time I wasn't waking up when I wanted to, you know, whether it was waking up to get to work earlier, waking up to work out, waking up to read my Bible, I wasn't getting there. And I realized that, you know, my morning plans started the night before. It was whenever I go to bed, and that's been our biggest thing this year is getting to bed on time. You know, I just can't fall asleep. I stay up so late that I get 5 hours of sleep, and of course I'm tired in the morning. So we've been trying to shut TV off at, you know, 9:30 and get to bed by 10 so that I can have 8 hours of sleep, wake up at 6, and then start my day moving forward. Another thing too, I've been following Jocko Willink. He has this whole plan. It's called it's DEF, Discipline Equals Freedom.
Ooh,
That's
good.
really cool.
I like it.
Jocko.
Yeah, he's a stud, and I love what he's saying, because a lot of times you associate discipline or parameters as, like, you know, shutting you down or, you know, controlling
Put me in a
you.
box, controlling me.
Exactly. But what he kind of rearranges the way you're supposed to think about it. Having discipline allows you to have more freedom. You know, when I'm disciplined when my schedule's disciplined, I'm not going to go sporadically spend money that I shouldn't have on dinner because I planned my meal before, and I'm able to save a little bit better. And over the course of a year, I've made my savings goal because I was disciplined. You know, when I'm disciplined, I wake up on time and I work out every morning, regardless of, you know, my circumstances. And in a year, I've lost the weight I wanted to.
No, that's so true. You think that discipline is actually like locking you down and it's keeping you somewhere, whereas it's a freedom that you get to have. Like, I used to be a little frustrated in my silly head that work was stealing all my free time, aka fun time, and so I'd get so upset that from 9 to 4 I was like locked down. But then I had this conviction that like, girl, you've got other hours in your day. Like, what are you doing with that? Because I would just go home and go to sleep and pout about it.
Oh, man.
And instead of pouting about it, I've decided to take my time and use it for what I want to. And so now I'm getting up early and I'm reading the Word and I get to spend my morning. I love to watch birds. I don't know if you guys out there know that, but I do love to watch the birds. It's about to snow. So any of you
with
guys,
the Audubon Society.
Yes. Yes.
No, listen, but if just a little like thing, it's about to snow, and so go get your bird seed and like feed the birds because like they need some. Anyway,
because they don't know how to feed themselves.
no, they can't. Anyway, so I love to put out my bird seed and like watch the birds in the morning, and that's time that I get to spend.
Yep.
But if I want to do those type of things, it's a freedom that I get to have now.
I love Natalie Dawson is somebody that I follow. She's a high-level leader, and she just talked about how we tell ourselves lies. And she said, I used to tell myself I'm a night person. I can't go to bed early and get up early. I'm a night owl. And she said, I just eventually realized it was a lie, started going to bed early and getting up early. And she said, now I'm a morning person. And she said, it's a mindset. And the bottom line is, you know, you just said 8 to 4. You felt like you were in prison, going to work, and you know, getting paid at the end of the day. But you were like, but you've shifted your mindset, and I think it then changed everything else to where you are at. And you know, I think the biggest question that I think we all need to ask ourselves is who is going to make it happen? Because I think for goals, we want them to happen for us, or we want other people to do them for us. But so I'm going to hire a life coach, or I'm going to hire a fitness coach, or I'm going to hire a leadership or whatever. But the bottom line is you are the only one who is going to make that happen.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, that's it.
Oh, it is. So when I set goals, you know, I feel like, and I know I used to do this as a vast majority of people, I'm sure do. When you set a goal, you get really excited for the goal. You're ready. And
that's right.
What you see is the excitement, and you see the end. I'm going to get ripped. And so you're thinking, I can't wait to look ripped. And then you're thinking, I'm so excited to start getting ripped. But there's this middle section of actually doing it that really trips people up because, and I know I do this when I set goals. I say, man, I'm going to just go ahead and say this is going to really be hard, and I'm not going to want to do this when I get out of bed in the morning. And sometimes I do want to do it, and that's great. It's a bonus. It's like I get up and I'm like, hey, I'm feeling pretty good today. I can't wait to, get after it. But most of the time you're doing what other people won't do because it's hard. And so if it's a goal, it's probably challenging and stretching and hard. And so, you should go ahead and expect this is not going to be easy. And I have to say yes to it right now so that I don't have time or room to say no to it when the actual hard season comes. No, I committed to myself. So I'm going to get up. I'm going to do this. And man, wow, this really is terrible. It's 5:30 in the morning. It's cold outside. I'm in my garage. I'm trying to work out, and I'm so fat. I'm having such a hard time. But but I said yes to myself already. I said yes. I'm going to do this. And so I think a lot of what happens is people just start breaking promises to themselves.
Yes.
I do think you need to set realistic.
Exactly.
I think what you said was really good. Like set realistic expectations.
For
For me, I'm not trying to look like a bodybuilder. I don't want to be disappointed when I get to, I've worked out consistently for 6 months. I've been doing really good, and I've actually been winning. But I look back and I'm like, well, these muffin tops are still they're still creeping up. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I think that's.
I like to set realistic expectations. We read the book. What's our habits book?
Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habits. Yeah, we've all read it.
Everybody said Atomic.
But 1% better every day.
That's right. Oh
Right.
yeah.
And so that it's funny whenever we're setting goals for campers coming in or what we're wanting at camp. I always set the lowest goals.
Yeah.
But I always win, and it's because I want to set attainable goals. I want to be better than we were last time. Right. It's all. If you want to know my goal this year, it's to be better than I was last year.
Yeah.
Okay. Because to me, in 25 years, I've come a long way. But if I want to be 25 years in the making in 1 year, I'm going to frustrate myself. So that's why I set realistic goals. One thing I like to say, Jay, is 21 days. If you can do something for 21 days, if you can get past the suck, right?
Yes.
And it takes about 3 weeks, 21 days. And so, so if I'm getting off soda, don't do soda for 21 days.
Yeah.
After that, you can hack it. Right?
Oh, it's true.
I want to get off candy. I want to get off sugar.
It's true.
I want to go to bed at 10 o'clock. Then I'm going to be in bed by 9:15 or 9:30 or whatever, and I'm going to do that for 21 days. After that, it's easy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really true.
Yeah.
It's weird how your body works like that, and I don't know the science behind all of it. I just know over Christmas break, I had gotten used to eating some snackies and such. And so, we're making gingerbread cookies with my kids, and I was probably 7 or 8 gingerbread cookies in and going, I'm not even phased, bro. Stack them up for me, and now I probably eat one and be like, that was a cheat, I probably ought to back off, so it's weird how your body just responds to that. It can be like, I don't actually really want that. I feel miserable after eating one. So
have y'all seen the Oreo thing?
Oreo thing?
Have y'all, Tyler, have you seen the Oreo thing? Where they burn the Oreo?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I have seen that. It's nuts.
They literally take a flame to an Oreo for, what is it, Tyler, like 30 seconds, finally a minute, the Oreo doesn't burn.
That's not a good
that
sign.
fake?
And that's what you're putting. I won't eat an Oreo again. This guy will
delicious.
Never eat an Oreo again. No, but like they've got like McDonald's food and stuff. When they can say,
food is bad.
I bought some
I've seen
ice cream that didn't melt.
Yeah.
I bought some ice cream from Dollar General. We left it out, and it looked the same the next morning. I will never eat that brand of ice cream. Bluebell does not do that, though.
No, Bluebell's
Bluebell melts.
bro.
If your ice cream don't melt, throw it out. That's
Bro.
as we digress. So
That's crazy.
Go ahead.
No, I was thinking, like, as we're going through some of these things, who's going to fulfill your goals and who's going to carry them out? It's you. I will say surrounding yourself with people who will encourage you or keep you accountable is big as well. Because, like, I would have never turned off the TV at 9:30. Like, that's not a personal goal I would have set for myself.
Right.
But
Never.
being around Ethan, something
right.
that he made me do actually has benefited me in the long run.
Right.
And so whoever's goals around you are encouraging you, like just paying attention to those things. Because obviously, at the end of the day, it's up to you if you're going to do your goal. But the people around you, are they encouraging you? With the Bible app, I have to be the one to read it. But I have people who are like, oh my gosh, Day, this was so good. And now I get to say, well, I was on that day 8 days ago, so you're a loser. No, but anyway, there are all kinds of people who can encourage you or be accountability or even encourage you with their goals as well. And so that was just
So, like, if you play sports and you're wanting to get off Coke, because if you're drinking Coca-Cola and you're a basketball player, it's stupid. In fact, I had this one player that I coached that they would have a bottle of Coke during timeouts that they were chugging during timeouts.
I'm a witness to that.
When I
That's
coached
wild, dude.
varsity girls basketball, there was one player that I was trying to tell it. In fact, her name was Olivia Pate. Now, Olivia Pate is not here today.
I don't know who she is.
We have Olivia Ross today.
Different woman.
But Olivia, do you remember that timeout? We were at a tournament.
Very
We were at a
fuzzy
tournament.
for me.
It had 2,000 seats in it. There wasn't 2,000 people there, but it had 2,000 seats in it, so it was a big place. We go over to timeout, and I could get excited during games.
Yeah.
Get pumped up.
Yeah.
So I was mad, called the timeout, look over, and Olivia is chugging a Coke.
It was so delectable.
I'm like, give me that. I grabbed the
sneeze it.
Coke out of her hand. I put the top on it, and I threw it way up into the stands.
Did you cry?
I was like, I was drinking that. it was more of a funny moment than like an intense one.
Yeah, I think I was making it.
No,
I
it was
think I was
definitely
being
silly,
funny. I think I was
but-
being
Oh,
funny.
okay, that's
It was a little like,
Yeah.
I don't want to drink water.
But I would get these ideas of throw the Coke. It just pops into my head, and I did it.
Throw it. Yeah.
That's
People were like
wild.
handing me water. They were like, you should.
And you're like, no, thanks.
was
I'm
like,
good.
So that's
want that.
accountability, is my point.
That's good.
I will say also though, not in like a devil's advocate way, but I think in the same way with leadership, at some point when your goals start getting bigger, you do realize that the people around you start kind of slimming down. You start losing. Not everybody has outrageous goals, and when you start.
That's really good.
And it's not wrong. It's not bad to have outrageous goals. It's not bad to have high goals. I mean, obviously you don't want to set a goal that is nowhere near something you can, right now I'm not going to go set a goal to run a 5-minute mile because there's no way. There's no way. But eventually, if I want to become a runner, it's not bad to have that goal down the line. But the closer I get to it, the less people will be around me.
I heard this yesterday. It was really good. It said, take a crazy goal that you have and get in a room where those people have that easy.
Whoa.
Ooh, that's good.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So there's something.
Yeah.
So if you're wanting to get really fit, you get around a bunch of fit people who've already done
That's
it.
their life. Yeah.
It's going to rub off on you.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
And I
cool.
thought, people who've accomplished,
That's really
and I think
genius.
it's so true because this great problem that you have, you go and talk to them. They're like, oh, it's no big deal because they've already solved it. So they're looking at you like it's no big deal. Anyway,
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. So what do you got to have to accomplish goals? You got to have character. Period. Because if you lie to yourself and you listen to the lies
It's good.
and you cheat, right? You're cheating yourself, right? So what do you got to have? You got to have discipline, you got to have routine, you got to have schedule, and you got to have priorities. I think those are 4 things that you got to have if you're going to accomplish something. We've already talked about discipline, routine, schedule, and then priorities. That when people say I don't have time, it's a lie. We all have the same time.
That's right.
You just didn't make time.
Yeah.
And what do you make time for? You make time for things that you actually care about. So why didn't you have time for that goal? It's because you actually don't care about that goal. You wish you accomplished that goal, but you don't want to accomplish that goal because if you really want to accomplish that goal, then everything else takes a back seat and you do that thing first. You're probably not going to read your Bible at 10:50 at night. But if it's a real goal, you're going to read it at 6:30 when you wake up, right?
Yeah.
So whatever it is, you want to try and go after that thing first, if you can, or first thing when you're, at 4:00 when you get off work.
Yeah.
It either needs to be when you wake up, when you get. But at the end of the day, you don't accomplish goals at the end of the day.
Yeah.
No.
It's just not going to happen.
That's really good.
It's true.
I like to setting goals that aren't, that don't just affect me. And everybody's in a different season of life. There was a guy I am friends with, and he posted this Instagram post, and it was a before and after.
Whoa.
He went a year, and man, just went on a shred. And the dude went from, being overweight, but just at the end of a year, just looked the most shredded, like Wolverine. And I was like, I have to do that. I have to do that. So I messaged him and I was like, man, what's your routine? I got to get into, whatever. And, what I didn't realize is obviously everybody's in a different season of life. This guy was not married, does not have kids, and works remote, can kind of make his own schedule. Well, that's not the season that I am in, and so I had to look at the season that I'm in and go, okay, what is actually a good goal for me, but what's a good goal for the people that I affect every day?
Yeah.
So, what's a good goal for me to have with my kids?
Yeah.
How do I need to spend an extra hour actually playing with my kids, getting on the floor? I had a tea party with Nora the other day, my
Fun.
youngest daughter.
Live after work today. Tea party.
We're not too far.
Sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead. Keep going.
We had a tea party, and when you get so busy, and it's really hard to sit down and do those types of things. And again, this is not a boast at all, but I try to set goals that are going to be effective for the people around me at work. What are my goals? I want to encourage one person a week or one person a day, and at least go out of my way to say, that's a goal for me. Well, that's a goal that affects everybody around me.
That's good.
And so that's what I try to keep it to, and just understanding my season
That's
of
so good,
life
Jay.
and not sacrificing the relationships around me just because I want to hit a specific goal for me.
That's true.
Yeah,
No,
trying to
that's
keep
cool.
up with people that are outside of your season. You know, you were like, I want to go to a date night with Sid maybe once a week or whatever. Melissa and I do 7 date nights a week,
That's annoying.
but it's
I could do that.
because we are all each other's got.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, we don't have kids in the home anymore and that kind of stuff. And so you got to know, you know, for Olivia and Ethan, I know they're saving up to want to get, you know, their first car that maybe they get together. You know, they don't need to look at me and go, well, Dave just got a brand new truck.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Well, you know, Dave didn't do that in his 20s or 30s, right? You know, and so
No, that's-
you got to understand seasons.
That's really good. I was thinking about that as Jason was talking. All of us are in a very different you more so than them, but are in a different season. And so making goals with people too. I liked how you were kind of talking about that. I think at least one goal that revolves around someone else, I think is really good too. Because like with us, relational goals, I think are very important, like with people. And that can be with friends, with family, with a spouse, with kids, whatever it is. But we set a goal to go out once a month, you know, and that's very practical to us. We were looking and Ethan was like, financially, we can't go out every week, you know, like we
Right.
can't go,
Yeah.
and we're talking really nice dinner, you know, go sit down, dress up, eat somewhere nice, pay a good bill for it, you know,
Right.
do something like that. Well, we can't do that every week, but every month we can
That's
do
right.
that. So then we talked every week, we can sit down in our home and not have the TV on and ask, how was your day? How are you doing with your goal? You know, be more intentional with those things.
Yeah.
But, you know,
That's
we
good.
can't go out 7 days a week. Well, here's what we can do.
Yeah, you can't afford to, but you also don't have kids at home. So
No,
when
it's
y'all
true.
go home, you can still prioritize each other.
Yeah.
Jason's got to go out because
Yep.
in the home,
Yep.
there's kids everywhere. Right?
Kids everywhere.
And for Melissa and I don't know what we're, you
No,
know,
it's true.
we're just whatever.
Well,
But
don't downplay Patches. Come on.
yeah. So character is the key. If you want to accomplish what you're
Yeah.
doing, and Melissa gave me this quote the other day that she read. It says, "Small character will fail in a large responsibility every time." And so you're not going to accomplish something without character, right?
Yep.
And so how do we go to the next level? How do you develop character? I think you develop character in the small things. I love what Jordan Peterson says. He says, "Make your bed every morning." If you're a single person, you should make your bed every morning. Why? Because he says, I don't know what it is, but it triggers something in you to be, I have to get this done. Go to bed at a certain time. If you're a single person, go to bed at a certain time. If you're in high school, if you're in junior high, if you're in
Yeah.
college,
That's good.
go to bed and wake up at a certain time every day. What time? I don't care.
Yep.
But be consistent. Those are setting things in you, but if you're not choosing your sleep, your wake up,
Yep.
right? If you're not doing some of these little things, you're not going to develop the big character you
Yep.
need to accomplish big goals.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's good.
No, yeah, that's good for young people in their phase of life in high school, maybe even college, where you're a little bit less setting your schedule, like your schedule is school or sports or whatever it is, being able to control what you can, you know, to be prepared where you can, you know, not let your day overtake you. I know I was talking to, I think it was Lindsay Perry, and she was just talking about how I don't know how she worded it, it was so much better, but basically your lack of responsibility won't be my problem later. You know, I'm not going to go pick up your volleyball shoes. You're going to
That's
prepare
right.
for the day, you know, and so as a young person, making sure I have my outfit or my lunch or whatever that is for the day, you know, that was something really my senior year I kind of took on, was like,
For
I'm
sure.
going to be ready for the day. Like, you know, whatever, as a girl, I think it looks a little bit different. Like, I'm going to put on my makeup and I'm going to make sure I look cute, you know, not just walking out like a hobo every day. You know, my hair's brushed, you know, you can take a shower, personal hygiene, stuff like that you can take on as a young person, I think is a really big deal when talking about, okay, I don't set, like my parents set my schedule or whatever it is, there are still things you can control, like make your bed, clean your room,
Well,
do this, do
personal
that.
responsibility is ownership.
Absolutely.
And the question is, right now at your age, do you own what you should?
Yep.
And how can you own more?
Yep.
Right? What is it that you can own versus what your parents own
Sure.
versus what someone else owns, right? Who owns that area
That's
of
true.
your life, and how many more areas, because ownership, you said this, I think, ownership equals freedom, or maybe we were talking about this the other day, but how much of your time during the day, how many of your responsibilities do you own? You know, okay, well, my mom uses her email to sign me up for work. Okay, or,
that's a
you know,
big one.
I even heard this the other day that a mom went in with her son to a job interview. Okay,
Whoa.
no. You should own your own job interview. You should own your own email.
Yep.
You should own your own whatever. Okay, well, my mom tells me when the youth group events are. No. You should listen in youth group, find out when those are. Okay, maybe you can't afford to pay for the event, but you go and you tell your parents, here's how much I need to go to this event.
Yep.
You know, or you go, how about you work for half of it? And I'll own half of this
That's
youth
good.
group event that we go to,
That's
and they're
good.
going to own the other half. What are you going to own? I own what, my mom tells me I go to bed at 10. Okay, how about you own that and tell yourself I'm going to bed at 9:50.
Yeah.
And so when mom comes to tell me, I'm already in bed.
That's
Why?
good.
Because I'm going to own that.
That is good.
I had a guy tell me this the other day. He says, my mom is a helicopter mom, so I have to beat her to the punch.
That's
So if mom's going to wash my clothes on Thursday, I'm going to wash them on Wednesday before she has a chance to, because she won't let me. You know, because I heard some guys tell me when I was talking about this concept, they're like, my mom won't let me because she's a helicopter mom. She's a do-it-all mom. He said, so I beat her to the punch.
That's awesome.
If she's going to pay for this, I went ahead and paid for it before she could.
Smart.
Yeah.
And
Smart.
then you're building that confidence. But what do you own in your life, right? What can you? Well, you can't live on your own, but you can clean out your own car.
Yes.
You can't live on your
Big
own,
one.
but you can clean your own room.
Yeah.
You can't live on your own, but you can wash your own clothes.
Right.
You can't live on your own, but you can get yourself up.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what do you own? Sorry, that's my ownership rant. What do y'all think about that?
I love that. And that's why I encourage so many kids to, maybe you're too young to get a job, but you're not too young to work a job.
Good.
What I mean, but it's like, I know in my neighborhood, every single yard in my neighborhood needs leaves blown right now.
Absolutely.
Every single yard.
Yep.
And to make something happen, there were some kids going around pressure washing trash cans
Yep.
Cool.
and making bank.
Come
That's
on.
awesome.
Just go pressure washer trash. I mean, I don't know. There's lots of ways that you can do, but I just remember bringing home my first paycheck, and I remember, it was like $100, I think,
Big.
for probably 1,000 hours I put in. I don't know, they probably skimping me, but I remember like having it and being like, this is mine. Like I own this right here, and that's just, there's such a liberating feeling about that. And I know there's a lot of responsibility that comes with handling your money, but that sense of ownership launched me. When I got my very first actual job, I worked at Little Caesars Pizza,
Whoa.
and it was
Hot and ready, baby. Hot and ready.
No. So I loved that job, but it gave me a sense of ownership. And when I came into that, man, I just wanted to outwork everybody because I was like, I got to do really well here, because I had already had an established sense of what this feels like to have my own money. And one of the things that I am grateful for / am, it was a harder part of my childhood, but I paid in high school. I basically paid rent to where I was living with my stepdad, my brothers, because we just couldn't afford to live. So
I should have done that to Olivia.
I would go work.
Dang it. Why didn't you tell me this story before? I could have been making money.
I would go work because we couldn't afford to live, and so I would hand over my whole paycheck. And
Wow.
at the time, I despised that. I was
Sure.
like, "Oh, this is unfair,"
Wow.
But the character that it built
Absolutely.
in me to own, I get to live here. I get to have a bed, and I get to, and I know it's terrible. It sounds terrible, but I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
Yeah, but your unfair became your advantage.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Dang.
Your unfair
That's what
became your advantage. And that's what people don't realize.
Yep.
Is if you've had it tougher in life, you're going to be stronger than everyone else because you're lifting more weights. When you
It's
lift more
true.
weights, you have more muscles.
It's
true.
true.
And
Oh,
that's
it's so true.
where you are,
Yeah.
Jay. You're tougher than a lot of people.
And so that sense of ownership is so valuable. So I love what you're saying. Every part of
excuses.
that.
People give excuses. You just said it. You probably can't get a job. And so somebody's probably listening to this going, yeah, my parents won't let me get a job. I love the Harrison Rawls story. Harrison Rawls, he told his dad, he said, you may own the yard, but it's mine.
Dang.
That's what Harrison Rawls told his
That's
dad.
really cool.
And so he goes out and mows the yard. Why? He said, it's his. You may own it, but it's mine.
Wow.
And so, okay, so you can't go get a job. So you can't go do this. What job in your in your home, in your yard, in your room? That's my job. Start assigning yourself jobs now.
Yeah.
Do people assign you jobs, or do you assign yourself jobs? That's the difference between an owner and a renter.
Yeah.
You start assigning your jobs, and you're going to go to the next level. The greatest thing let's move on to this. Let's move on to this concept, and this is what I'm really big on right now. This is the separator. If you're listening and you want to separate yourself, if you want to be above anyone that is on the same stage as you, the greatest thing that high-level leaders have over others is the ability to tell themselves no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do other people have to tell you no? Or can you tell yourself no? No, I will not stay up past then. No, I will not scroll on Instagram. No, I will not eat that.
Right.
No, I will not watch that.
Yep.
No, I will not smoke that. No, I will not. Let me tell you, your ceiling is going to be determined by your ability to tell yourself no.
That's really good.
Those who can tell themselves no
Good.
and mean it will always go faster, farther, higher
Yep.
than anyone else around them.
Yeah.
That's the bottom. If we're talking about new year and new you,
Yep.
start telling yourself no.
Yep.
The people who say I can't help it, then you ain't gonna.
Yeah.
That's great.
No amount of accountability is going to do it for you.
Yeah.
Can you tell yourself no? You're sitting down, you're at Texas Roadhouse, and what comes first?
Them rolls.
Them rolls and that honey butter.
Bro.
And
will
you're
say-
wanting to
So good.
lose weight?
Oh,
Can we
yeah.
just? We have
200
to.
calories a piece.
We,
Ethan looked it
I
up.
know.
we have to
I had
side
4
plug.
2 nights
We
ago.
have to slide plug a little bit. I can say no in every other area of my life. Okay, I'm not trying to throw out excuses, but the Texas Roadhouse rolls, you can't say no to that.
The
I mean, it's
most-
But
like
I'm
the
just
Lord
saying.
put them in front of me. It was really
No.
God that did it. I
You
mean,
order water.
Yep.
You're like, all right, I want water, and then I'm
Yeah.
just going to eat the protein, the steak, and then them rolls drop.
Bro.
I saw Ethan have the most self-control and be in the most pain a human has been in. We got a gift card from the Rosses, yours truly,
We did.
to Texas
Thank you for
Roadhouse,
that.
and we
Trying
went,
to.
and Ethan was on a diet, and so he was watching his calories, whatever. I'm sitting across from him, and the rolls lay down, and they said 4, and he's like, and so he gets on his phone, and I knew he was asking how many calories, and he goes, and I was like, what is it? He said, it's 200 a roll. And I was like, yeah. And so he took one roll and handed me the basket, and he just nibbled on his little roll.
savored it.
Yes.
Like a little bird.
But
it.
he
Like a
actually
little
did
bird.
good, though. Like,
You know,
he just had one.
Could
I
be like
had
communion and get a pinch.
On that notion, though, I
We
think this
broke
is also
bread.
another Atomic Habits plug. If I'm not remembering the exact quote, but he talks about the difference between wanting to be like somebody and being somebody. Like, do I do things that Christians do, or am I a Christian?
Well.
Do I do things like healthy people do, or am I a healthy person? And when you decide who you are, you remove the question of, am I going to eat this roll or am I not going to eat this roll? When you are a healthy person, you go, that's not me. That's not what I'm eating. When you want to do things that healthy people do, you go, is that something somebody healthy would do? Maybe. I'll give it up this time. But I'm learning that the greatest change I can make on myself is if I decide I'm not going to be like I'm not going to do things that in-shape people do. I mean, I am going to do those things, but I am an in-shape person. I got to tell myself, this is who I am. Now, all my actions that happen after this are because of who I am, not because of it. I'm not saying yes or no every time. I made that, just like Jason said earlier, I made that decision at the very beginning and I'm sticking to it. It's not, am I going to open an Instagram this time? It's not, I don't have social media on my phone because this year that's not who I am. That's not what I'm doing,
No, that's really good. I always like to talk about when people are trying to, when you're young and you're developing and who you want to become, you see all these great people. I always looked at like Sadie Robertson, or came on Maddie Pruitt a while after her. And it's like, they just love Jesus and they've got their cute little husbands and their cute little kids. Like, I just want to be like them, and they're so influenced and people love them. But what I love about them is that they were themselves. And with people that you watch, you can scroll on TikTok all day and see these people who work out. They're like so fit and they work out every day, or whatever you're looking for in that person. What you're seeing in them is their discipline. You admire and love that they are disciplined, and wanting to be that versus being that, I think is such a good point too, is like, you can be that too. You just can't be them, you aren't them. And so separating yourselves from that goal is really important. So.
I also people who go on diets, I think they kind of have I don't know if stigma is the right word, they just talk about it all the time. And there's kind of those people where you're like, okay, they're coming up, we're going to talk about food for the next 30 minutes. It's all they talk about. And it gets annoying, but I've started to realize that, they do that because that's who they are. They're not following a diet for a week and falling off.
That's right.
They're healthy. And when you
out of the abundance of the
somebody,
heart,
Yep.
Exactly.
mouth speaks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so
In the car every day to work, I get the joy to hear about meal plans.
Yes.
So I can definitely vouch for that guy that they do talk about,
Well-
on the way today.
Yeah,
It's
when you
this
get
is
me, you get me.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're going to be around me, you're going to be around me. And if it's who I am, then you're going to hear about it.
No, it's
Here's the
true.
deal. If other people aren't hearing about your goals, it's not who you are.
Yeah,
It's true.
it's true.
That is true.
That is the bottom line. One of the guys, a mentor that I had in college, Paul Kern, every time I rode in his truck, it was always clean. And my truck was a freaking wreck. And it would have stuff in there that's been in there for a year and I've never listened to it or used it or whatever. I mean, it was just crap stuck in the pockets of everything. And I just thought, I will be like that one day. And it took me 15 years to get there. And now when you get in my truck,
It's hard.
there's nothing in my truck.
Grab
Ever.
everything out. Did you bring in that cup? That cup yours? Is this yours? Here, take this with you. Take this with you. Can't get in Dave's truck.
I don't want
without all
crap
that.
in my truck.
Nope.
I don't want it in there. But it's who I am now. I'm not trying to be like him.
Yeah.
And it's got to be who you are. And obviously, as a Christ follower, he gives you the power to overcome.
Absolutely.
But you have to choose.
Right.
Who are you going to be, right?
Yes.
It's on you. And I think that's the thing that we want to kind of end with today is it's on you. Your coach ain't going to do it for you.
That's right.
Right.
Your youth pastor ain't going to do it for you. Whether it's your relationship with the Lord and reading the Bible, whether it's getting in shape, whether it's turning in your assignments, whether it's getting a job, whether it's paying a bill, whether it's cleaning your car. I don't care what it is. These are all symbolic things of discipline being created that gets a result. And if you don't create a muscle, discipline is a muscle.
Yeah.
Okay?
For sure.
Now, it could be muscles that you're chasing.
Yeah.
Right? But
Yeah.
discipline is a muscle. And if you cannot flex that, if you cannot build that, then you're stuck.
Yeah.
You're going to be stuck. And you're going to be stuck for the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years.
That's right.
Because, when you're leaving, growing up is finding your identity. You get 18, and then you move to the builder's phase of life. And if you can't ever build, without discipline, you're never going to build anything. And if you can't build, it's on you. It is absolutely on you. And your mommy and daddy, they're showing you the way, but they can't be the way for you. That is the bottom line. And I don't care if you're 25, if you're 30, if you're 40, if you're 50. I've seen people 50 that they've never learned to tell themselves no, because unless someone else does it for them, they're never going to do it.
Yep.
It's on you. All right. Everybody hit something of it's on you as we're talking to our audience here. Could be a girl in junior high or high school. Could be a guy, whatever. Who are we talking about? It's on you. Give us some practical things to close it out. How did you, Liv, I remember when you started cleaning your apartment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was on you.
Yep.
How'd you do it?
I think, just not wanting to live gross is one thing, but doing my own laundry, when you do it, fold it, put it away, there's a feeling that you get of being proud of the accomplishment. And so I would say little things like that for sure. But I mean, setting an alarm, you can set alarms if you can't remember to do stuff, every week this goes off. I'm a big calendar person. On my calendar, there's really random things, but that's a good way to remember things. If you're a write it down person, we put stuff on our fridge, write it down on the fridge to remember things.
I remember that calendar you created by your door in your apartment.
Yep.
You had this massive calendar.
Yep.
You were all about writing it
Yep.
down.
I was going to remember, and it was when I left the door. I did it by hand. It was a cute little thing I did. But I didn't want to not remember things at school. I was at a new school, and I wasn't going to remember that it wasn't Spirit Day, that it wasn't whatever.
Yeah.
So I went through the whole calendar, the whole school calendar, and I wrote all the things. And I was not not going to miss a day. I wasn't going to miss whatever they were doing. But that is a big thing. And then I'd write off to the side, like, I do dishes here. I do laundry here. I actually do dishes every night. It's kind of a thing I have, a pet peeve. Like, the sink isn't going to be full overnight. Like, it's not something I let happen. I'm not as great with laundry, but I'm working on it. I'm getting really good. But I would say writing it down is a big one. Calendar's a big one. You did a calendar for a minute.
Ethan, you did a competition.
Yeah, we did.
You did some accountability with Will and Cooper.
We did a whole that was a crazy one.
That was this last summer. Who won?
I can tell you that me and Will won.
You and Will
won. Coop lost.
Cooper Dar lost. What was his punishment?
Oh boy,
man, Speedo on the beach. It was Speedo on the beach. It was.
Let's go.
It was a beautiful sight, really.
So many people.
I need to
we
see a
walked
TikTok
by,
about that one.
We're videoing as he walks out there, and people are like,
the looks
what
people
bet
were
did
giving
he
him,
lose?
man, it was great.
Yeah.
On that too, for me, kind of learning right after high school, specifically with me, but with everybody my age, life really starts splitting up. Up through senior year, most people go to high school. They're in high school. They're doing high school things. They're with high school people, and then all of a sudden you graduate and you're either at college or you're taking a gap year or you're in life like we are. We're married early. Some people, they're getting married in the next year or two. Life just
You
spreads.
launch.
You launch, and part of the thing I've been learning is it's not necessarily the cards you're dealt, but it's not your choice what cards are dealt, but it is your choice how you play the hand. And I think everybody's got different cards being dealt right now, especially right out of high school. And I'm just, especially not having a lot of people doing the same thing I'm doing, I'm learning that I've got to, I guess, play my card. I don't know, I'm kind of losing track of what I was saying.
It's about what you do with what you have. It's not
Exactly.
about what you
sure.
have.
Exactly.
Because you can be handed a lot and trash it, and it don't take long.
Yep.
Man, I saw somebody inherit $20,000 at 19 years old and had zero in a year.
No way.
Oh yeah, I watched it.
wow.
Disappear.
I mean,
Crazy.
I'm just
crazy.
telling you, you could zero Elon Musk out tomorrow, and he would be a billionaire in no time.
Yeah.
It's because he's done it so many times. It's who he is.
Yeah.
We that victim mentality lies to us and tells us that everyone else has an advantage.
Yeah, right.
That ain't it at all.
Right.
That's
That
so
ain't it
true.
at all. I mean, Jason Ross, you've had every disadvantage
I was about to say.
possible, and yet you're killing it. You're a great
Yeah.
dad. You're a great
Yeah.
husband. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Appreciate
You're
that.
building your net worth.
Yep.
I mean, you're not Elon, but none of us are. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't
Trying.
matter. You're
Yep.
growing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah,
No,
for
that's
sure.
so true.
Yeah, I think there was a quote that actually came from you. I don't actually know where it originated. Maybe you came up with it, but I don't know. And we use it a lot around here, but change isn't change unless you change.
Yeah.
And I think that's so valuable to know because, even disadvantages or whatever life might throw at you. I know I've had kids tell me before when I was teaching Bible class, junior high kids, be like, it's easy for you to pray every day. You're an adult. Well, what? What does that even mean?
Adults
sense.
have advantages.
And I remember I had the same conviction too. I was like, man, I just don't have any time in the day to pray. Where the Bible says to pray without ceasing, because God wants to be a part of every part of your day. And so, once I learned that, what I'm really getting at is that you can't change and stay the same at the same time, right? And so you're either one or the other. And so as you look around yourself and you go, man, this looks really similar to what it was before, and so does this, so does this, so does this, so does this. Well, yeah, you didn't do anything to change. It's you. So, I don't know what it looks like for you to pray consistently.
Yeah.
I don't know what that looks like for you. But there is a way. You're just
Yeah.
not doing it.
Yeah.
You're just not doing it. I don't know what it looks like for you to work out consistently. But there is a way.
Yeah.
And you're just not doing it. Me again, my life is very busy with our kids keep us very busy, and then you don't want your spouse relationship to fall through the cracks either. So there's a lot of time spent in the home But that can't be an excuse. You know, none of your circumstances can be an excuse for you not growing and pushing consistently towards your goals, even if it means that your goals maybe get a little smaller, you know, and you have smaller wins. That doesn't mean that you don't push for something, you know, and you just revert back and say, well, I guess the next season of my life will, you know, offer me up some time to accomplish goals. Well, that's not the mentality.
No,
so you got to get in and you got to do it. You got to figure it out.
That's for sure. The sooner you can learn it, it then becomes who you are, and then you'll take it forever. You know, when I learned in the apartment, living on my own, whatever, it has changed me so much to where now that we're in a home of our own, I'm so grateful that I learned those things then. And obviously from you and Mom, like Mom always does the dishes. We live in a clean home, like all of those things. And so that definitely helped build my foundation. That was probably an advantage that I had. But going from there, I could choose to do that or not to do it, you know. What was that app that you have that scanned the barcode? That's a good practical way.
Oh, yeah, it's Alarmy, and it doesn't let you snooze the alarm going off until you can set whatever task. I set it to like the barcode of my toothpaste, so like it will ring, and you know, I deleted the app one time because I like had to like go through this whole process to delete it. But you have to literally get out of bed and you have to go and find your toothpaste, turn the lights on, which wakes you up even more, and like the camera won't focus. So I'm sitting there but it forces you to. That's been my biggest struggle too, getting out of bed. So that's been good.
That was a really good one when he did that. It even got me up. I mean, that thing would go off and he's trying to find the toothpaste. One time I threw it away and like he can't find it. And it's just like a whole thing. You know, it's just one of those. But that's a good practical way if you can't get up in the morning to do that. I just got an alarm that I feel like has changed my life. Another little practical thing. I got it for Christmas. It's like a Hatch alarm clock dupe. So it's a sunrise alarm clock. You can set it to like 45 minutes and it'll get brighter in your room to what the sun is outside. And so you can have an alarm on it, you can do whatever, but there's a sunrise setting. And so I have it come up with the sun. Cool. And so when I wake up to my alarm, it's bright in the room, like it's turned on by the morning. And so it's really nice. I've loved that. And I can tell like by the time I open my eyes to turn off the alarm, the room's not dark and I don't just roll back over. You know, that's another thing if you're trying to get up in the morning. That's been a battle for me, but I've loved it.
I think two things I want to end with. Number one is I tried.
Yeah.
Well, I tried. You know, and I heard this. Steve Sexton said this one time. Trevor's dad. If you don't know, Steve is not a big name anymore at Brookhill. It's Trevor's dad. Tried is delayed failure.
Tried is delayed failure, yeah.
Tried is delayed failure. You don't try, you accomplish it, right? And so stop trying. Go do it. Yeah. Stop trying. Yeah. Stop giving yourself an excuse or a way out. And then the other one is, well, it wasn't modeled for me. Okay. So Olivia just said, well, her mom modeled a clean house for her. Okay, perfect. Then Olivia, go clean your house because it was modeled for you. And okay, well, it wasn't modeled for you. Okay, well, now you know what not to do. Then go do the opposite. Yeah. Either way, you don't have an excuse. Yeah. Go do the thing.
That's right.
That's the bottom line. There's no excuses. You know, and bottom line is you need to listen to Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink because he does not. We are too soft on ourselves. Yeah. The reason we don't tell ourselves no is we are too soft on ourselves. We baby ourselves. And Jocko is the kind of guy that you need to get around because him and David Goggins, you're not ready for David yet. Jocko's a little nicer than David. But you can have excuses or results, but you can't have both. Which one do you want?
That's right.
Crazy.
New year, new you. We were just trying to kick it off a little different with the home team.
Let's get after it.
So, new year, new you.
Yeah, let's go.
The Brookhill Podcast, Life, Legacy, and Leadership.
Yay.
Out.
Well done, everyone.
Let's go. What do you think? That was good? Good. I think we got a lot of. You should have several clips from that one.